Welcome back, everybody. Let's go racing, shall we? Unlimited Heat 2A, and here are the stories we'll be watching. Steve David in the Old Boy Alberto. He was close in 1A. How about now? Have they dialed it in? The strategy paid off for the Elam. They picked lane 2. What are they going to do next time? We're about to find out. And he won Heat 1A, did Jeff Bernard, but does he have, as they say, the beans to stay with the other fast boats? We'll find out in Heat 2A.
Heat 2A of the Chevy Cup at Seafair is brought to you by Roy Robinson Chevrolet in Low Overhead Marysville and is presented for Seafair by 76. 76 gasolines reduce emissions and maximize mileage.
Here is your Muckleshoot lineup for Heat 2A. The Grandview on the Lake, Graham Trucking, Old Boy Alberto, Elstrom, Elam Plus, FormulaBoats.com, and Jones Racing. To the course we go, and you'll see that all those boats are out there on the water, some a little sooner than others. Remember, they don't have to vie for a starting position, and we want to welcome all of those listeners on KJR Radio and at KIROTV.com who are dipping into our race coverage right now. Let us bring you the players in Heat 2A. Here they are. Grandview on the Lake with Jimmy King at the controls. Chip, it's nice to have a piston-powered boat.
It is. That engine was built to fight World War II. He's picked lane 1, but I don't think he can make it stick.
J. Michael Kelly, they've rebuilt the Graham Trucking boat, Mike.
And J. Michael could be a factor at the starting line in this particular one because he's just inside the Old Boy Alberto and the Elstrom Elam Plus, and that's a position that could cause the other guys some trouble.
Steve David won a week ago in the Tri-Cities in the Old Boy Alberto boat. He'd like nothing better than to win here in Seattle for Art Alberto. Jenny, how are they feeling in the pits?
I think everything's very positive here in the pits. Steve just walked over to his boat, gave me a big thumbs up, even made a little joke with me, inside personal joke. So he's all smiles here.
All right, Dave Vilwalk in the Elam Plus boat is generally not all smiles before a race, Michael. He's all business.
This is all business for him all day. He has to get points. He has to do well every heat. It's just simple as that. And he has so far delivered. But now he's out in the 4 lane, and he's going to have to test how well that boat handles out there.
Jeff Bernard had a win, as we said, Chip, in the earlier heat yesterday. Does he have the speed in this boat?
He does, but he really doesn't need to do much. He's already got a win. He just needs to be conservative, take a 3rd or 4th, and he'll be looking good.
Guard, is he that conservative?
He is conservative, but you know, Steve, the crew's a little bit concerned right now. They found a small crack in the swim step in the back of the boat. They put a small patch on it. That resin is a little bit sticky right now, and they don't expect that patch to last through this heat.
We'll find out. Finally, the U9, the Jones Racing boat of Dave Williams, Michael, is just really happy to be out there.
They're happy to be out there and fill out a field. It's nice to see Mike and Laurie Jones back in racing here on Lake Washington in Seattle. But David is going to see most of this heat from back behind.
So those are your boats. Those are the drivers. Pat O'Day, you've got a fastest qualifier for us.
Jack in the Box congratulates Dave Vilwalk in the Elam Plus, 154.3 miles an hour. He'll be out in the 4th lane. And there's always an inside lane for you at Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Patrick, and let's go racing. And this could be an interesting charge to the starting line and into the first turn just because of the makeup of this heat. Grandview, the Allison-powered, turbo Allison-powered boat on the inside. Graham Trucking right next to him, the Old Boy Alberto. Then in lane number 4, the Elstrom, FormulaBoats.com on the 5 lane and the 6 lane. Jones Racing, here they come. Very nice line. Let's see if they get it to the line just right. Looks like they may have been right on the money as they come down into the first corner down. Got a whole lot of rooster tails and a whole lot of speed. And in the inside right now, the Grandview is actually making itself a bit of a factor.
Jimmy King may make me a liar because I didn't think that old World War II aircraft engine could stay in front, but he's got a good start right now.
Well, the engine that won the war, the Battle of Britain, is coming down the back now with Jimmy King, that boat from Evansville, Indiana, inside and the leader. And it has caused a situation for Dave Vilwalk because he's outside in traffic with lots of rooster tails between him and the inside of the race course. And he's trying to make up some time now, and already the Old Boy Alberto's got a bit of a lead on him. So as they come off that corner, Jimmy King is making his owner, Ed Cooper, very proud right now as the Allison comes across the line. First place, a whole rooster tail over the Old Boy Alberto, and in 3rd and trying to wheel in the Oh Boy Alberto is Dave Villwalk in the Elam Plus Paddle Day the speed.
That Allison engine is singing happy birthday to Seafair at 147 miles an hour.
Important corner down here, Chip, and they're starting to spread out.
Well, even more important than that is we thought maybe one of those guys jumped, and we know officially it's a clean start, so Jimmy King is really doing a heck of a job here.
And he really has some horsepower, whoop, but there was a big backfire in that turbo just now as he enters turn number 2 for the second time around. But Jimmy King is getting a great boat ride, and he's showing us that those old V12 1710 cubic inch engines still have a little bit of poop in them because they can make it. And he's coming down, well, a bit of a fly there, but he's coming down to take the white flag for the final lap, and he's now extended his lead.
Mike, what's more important is this race back here for second place, because Steve David got beat by Dave Villwalk in the first heat, so if he can beat Dave Villwalk here, that's going to help him. So I think that race for second place is really important what happens today.
These are quick laps. That last one was at 143 miles an hour for Jimmy King.
Jimmy King looks like he's on his way to the bank here in the third and final lap of Heat 2A, and right now it does not appear as though the Elam Plus is going to be able to catch Steve David and the Oh Boy Alberto, both of them getting a little loose down on the back chute, but on the inside trying to reel in the whole crowd is Jeff Bernard now in the Formula1.com, or FormulaBoats.com rather, out of the corner for the last time, and this has got to make the boys from Evansville awfully proud because they haven't been able to put together 3 heats of racing all season long. It's been one disappointment after another, but right now here's a checkered flag for Jimmy King and Ed Cooper's Grandview on the lake. Second place will be the Oh Boy Alberto, and we're even now again. We're just like we were when the race started as far as points for the National High Point. It was give 100, take 100 in this particular situation.
I tell you what, Mike, that is critical. If Steve David would have got beat on the outside twice in a row, that would have sent a very bleak message for them for the rest of the day. All of a sudden now that team's going to have a lot of motivation.
Well, as Steve said yesterday, his team is giving him a little bit more boat. He didn't show it all in that first heat.
The order of finish was Grandview on the lakes with Jimmy King, Alberto, followed by the Elam, followed by the Formula boat.
A particularly good run, though, for Ed Cooper. What a reward that is for them. Jimmy King and the Allison Turbo team out of Evansville, Indiana, have just struggled to finish.
Mike, can you imagine what it would mean to this crowd to see an old V12 Allison win the Seafair race? And I tell you what, with the performance he just showed there, it's possible.
It's absolutely possible. He has to be a contender, no question about it. And Jeff Bernard, although he drove a smart race, had a lot more horsepower than he was actually using Paddle Day, and he is going to serve some notice here yet.
Oh, absolutely. He's a sleeper. But can you imagine on 60th birthday for Seafair, if piston engine won this race? Would that be sweetness in motion?
That would be just like a flashback, wouldn't it? It would be absolutely incredible.
Gosh.
You know, I think part of the real legacy of the racing down here is the piston engine. And I don't know about you, Mike and Pat, and when I walk around during the week, people approach me all the time. When is the noise coming back? So again, that V12 Allison, there was actually 2 engines they used in that era. One was a Rolls-Royce Merlin, one was a V12 Allison. That is a V12 turbocharged Allison that did the job there.
60 years ago, that was actually a kind of an experimental engine. A few of the boats used it. The old Gale boats did. The Miss Pepsi had 2 of them in there, and there were some wonderful boats that ran that Allison engine when they were war surplus after World War II Paddle Day. You remember that? I think you ordered a few of them yourself.
Absolutely, and I remember 1958 when Chip Hanauer, excuse me, 78 when Chip Hanauer drove a turbocharged Allison, and he almost caught Bill Munsey in the Detroit Trophy race. Right. You remember that, Chip?
Right. Key word was almost.
Why don't we right now get everybody up to speed, if you will, and let them know that we have had the official ruling from those down in the truck. This is a clean race, so it stands the way it is, and a terrific run by Jimmy King and the gang with the piston-powered stink potter down there. Nice job, and quite frankly, guys, really a well-run race by everybody. Everybody started, everybody finished.
Steve, let me just give you a little suggestion. The guy that owns that boat, Ed Cooper, is kind of a tough guy. I would not refer to it as a stink pot.
Is that right?
Yeah. Just a word of warning.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, I'd be careful with that.
Yeah. No, that's quite an achievement. But, you know, we've been focusing on that big engine, and if you see the big pipes here, that's from the turbocharging, and right here it takes exhaust gas and runs them through those pipes and makes it supercharged.
Well, let's talk to the driver about just exactly what he did down there as Jimmy